Hey y'all, today I want to talk about this cute little gadget here, this miniature electric mower, and how it is saving my life. A little bit of a backstory. Hi, I'm Val. Welcome to my channel. I'm talking about kind of life as a first timer living in the countryside, dealing with trials and tribulations. This year has been a lot more tribulations, trials, an avalanche of maintenance issues that I've had to deal with. So I decided to start recording them and sharing them with you in this format. I have found fascinating watching other lawn mowing companies where they find people with massively overgrown yards and they help them out, and that has actually been really inspiring to me, just as like a life lesson for like how to manage all of your chaos and things like that. So I recently posted a video about my life lessons with water and like how to kind of deal with the challenges, from class 5 rapid kind of level of challenge to riptide, right, getting the rug pulled out from under you. So when I first acquired this property, the previous owners would bush hog it. That is where like a big tractor and a big mower just kind of comes out, and they do it a few times a year. I actually have a riding mower, the kind with like the little steering wheel. It feels like a little bumper car. So that's super fun because it reminds me of like my childhood and like learning how to, learning how to drive before you're allowed to drive, So you go to like the little bumper cart places, Disney has them. Doing like the arcade games with the little driving. I just love that, right? So having a little riding mower to do that with has been really fun. I don't have one of those bigger like zero turns with like the gigantic handles or anything like that, but that's a goal. So basically, when I started doing the riding mower out here, it was a time of year where I just started seeing like all the little flowers and the bumblebees and the little grasshoppers and all these things, and I'm just like, oh, I can't run over these guys. So I decided to only mow in certain sections. So what happened is, over time, I wanted to mow and see what would grow. Well, what has grown is beautiful weeds, goldenrod, which is really important to the pollinators, and then also just like giant brambles. Um, it's kind of another challenge that I'm going to be dealing with at some point, because now in sections like the brambles are just too big. I've actually got to hire somebody to do that, but that's a challenge down the road. Brambles are blackberries, which would be amazing, except they're all thorns. So it's super hard to deal with because even on the riding mower, it catches on your clothes. So I try to use long sleeves, long pants, bug spray anytime I'm out here, sunscreen. Um, and basically, what happened was a few months ago, earlier in the year, at the height of really needing to mow. I try not to mow um, during kind of like off-season winter because I want to allow for the creatures to have their hibernation spots. So there's kind of timetables on when it's good to mow and when it's not good to mow. In addition, like lightning bugs and that kind of thing. So I live, people own acreage near me, and they mow their lawns all the time, like it's a golf course, which I think is completely ridiculous. So my property is more natural habitat. And yeah, it's been a little overwhelming. You can just kind of see how some of this stuff has gotten overgrown. So basically, what happened this year is I got my mower, out of the winter storage, got it operating, drove it around for a couple of hours, got off of it, got back on it, and it stopped working. So lo and behold, I think it's a drive belt that needs to be fixed. But at the time, I wasn't able to feasibly manage the logistics to do that, to either get the machine physically to a repair place and actually like pay for it at the same time, they were like 2 weeks behind. So in that process, I tried to ask neighbors if I could rent their machines for a couple of hours. And the responses were, we don't loan our equipment to people, or I'll do it for you. And that person was like the neighbor down the road that's like 80 years old and wears, hearing aids kind of thing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that to an old man. I tried to rent some equipment about an hour's drive away, drove back and forth a couple of times, problems with the hitch and the weight of the trailer that they rent, and yada, yada, yada. So it was just a nightmare. So what's ended up happening is I've kind of had to prioritize maintenance issues. And this is where I talk about in kind of some of the other videos that I've talked about, where when life comes crashing down at you, you've got to relax and breathe. So instead of getting really overwhelmed with it, I've had to prioritize and focus on other maintenance issues. And to be honest with you, this year has just not been the best as far as like the flow of the income to be able to get that machine fixed. And my goal is to actually purchase the Greenworks model of the riding mower. So that is a dream. And maybe when I get one of those, I'll film another, I'll do another review. So basically I want to talk about this, how great this machine is. And I've got 2 batteries. So we're going to walk down a little bit ways where the grass is much higher than it is where I'm standing. This section was mowed with this machine. This section, I think I mowed this like a month ago with that machine up and down. I think I've mowed this pathway a few times this summer, because this does get a lot of the sun and rain. And it's kind of a nice little walk. And what's great about these machines is, as electric, they're not loud, right? So you can just really enjoy the athletic kind of component of walking, seeing all the natural surroundings, and then, accomplishing a goal. And so who needs to go to a gym? Let's head over to see the section that I need to mow today. Okay, the sun is pretty bright here. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can kind of see that this side over here has been mowed. This side has not. So I need to mow all the way up there. It's going to be a challenge. So that section used one battery. I need to go up the hill a little bit more. So I'm going to use the next battery and then recharge. Let's turn this way. Well, this is obviously not the ideal situation. It's not what I would prefer, right? Like, I'm going up a hill here, which is why I've avoided it for so long. It's mid-November and it's supposed to be 70 out, and it's quite warm to be wearing a sweatshirt. I'm going to see how much more I can do here. And like I said, great exercise when the battery runs out. I'll take a break, have some lunch while they charge again. And unfortunately, this right now is my only option to use this little guy. However, if you've got a garden, it's really great. It's a really great. I like it because it's narrow, so I was able to like use it in between raised beds. It's perfect for like little spots, and I'm trying to kind of create zones that I don't have to mow, right? So I'm trying to create landscaping, spreading out daylilies and all those kinds of things. This section, however, I don't really have that choice. I'd bring the donkeys over here, but it's not suitable for them. There's not really fencing and all those things. So this is, really my only option, right? So when we get to that point of the tidal wave of chaos has come to us and we've been problem solving, sometimes the solution isn't always the most elaborate or cost effective or time effective, but it gets the job done, right? So let's see how much more I can do before the battery runs out.
So I have no idea if the footage is happening here. I'm going to move you again. So my goal is to finish past this evergreen tree back to the woods by the end of the day, if not tomorrow morning. The temperatures are going to drop. It's going to start getting cold. Winter's headed this way, and I needed to do this for purposes, multiple purposes. Anyway, there's still a little bit of a charge on this, so I'm just taking a slight break for my heart. And, to talk about like going slow, um, it's kind of a mantra, right? Like my neighbors have these riding mowers and they're loud and they're doing it like Saturday morning at 7 a.m. And one of the guys has got like a brew, like every time he's mowing. So for me, I'm going slow, but if there's this beautiful breeze.
I'm like witnessing the beautiful colors of this maple tree. These are the thorny things that I hate, but they're just like beautiful purple. So for my purposes of being out here in the countryside, I really am trying to like absorb it and enjoy it. And this is a workout. I just did probably like 2 backyards uphill. Um, but it's also like an incredible accomplishment feeling. So if you made it this far and you're still watching me, I'm actually going to continue recording and charge the batteries when this one dies, and then come back out, probably change out of this hot sweatshirt into different work clothes. But if you like it so far, give me a like, subscribe, and in the comments, if this is interesting to you and you want to see more mowing in a rural area rather than like somebody's house. Not that those are bad, but if you subscribe to some of those guys and you're interested in just seeing the transformation, and the challenges, this will be a seasonal thing. It won't be an every week thing, but go ahead and make a comment for me. And I'm also going to, as I'm mowing, I'm going to leave my Venmo account in the description below. If you want to contribute towards helping me get the other riding mower fixed, this is a better time to do it. Or my like fancy Greenworks riding mower, electric riding mower, zero turn fund. I think those range in like the $5,000, so that is like a goal of mine. One of the other goals of mine is actually to transform this giant meadow. Um, I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 acres here. And what I was doing was I wanted to see what would grow here. So, I've got the brambles, I'm getting a few beautiful maple trees. I'm getting some of the cypressy evergreens, which I love. And there's passion flower and there's elderberry. So my longer term goals are actually to start an elderberry farm here, or at least a section of it to be elderberry and possibly passion flower. So if you're interested in contributing to that dream, or just sharing this video of me mowing and the transformation in more of a rural setting where you get to watch the scenery and the pretty blue skies today, it's incredibly beautiful today. You can also watch some of my videos, I call them Forest Fridays, where I'm actually down at the river. I'm taking you for just like about a 30-minute video where we hang out by the river for a little bit and then we go for a brief walk. And just every week we're going to see how the colors change, and maybe there'll be snow on the ground, and then the spring comes and then the leaves bloom and all those different things. All right, so let's see if I can find another spot to put us. And I have a little bit left on the battery charge here. Ready for a new battery. Okay, so I'll take you on a quick walk of what we've done. Okay, I'm back after a few hours. Had lunch, got some water, did some other projects, changed shirts, and let's see how we do. You kind of see me going slow in some spots. Let me go show you what I am looking at. If you remember earlier in the video, I talked about like not mowing a lot to see what would grow. And up here, when I was using the push mower instead of being on the riding mower, I discovered a lot of patches of yarrow, and I want to dig that up and transplant it to some of my it's supposed to be a really good companion plant underneath your roses, and I have an apple tree and some other like garden things in a different section. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is like so pretty, and there's patches of it. So I don't want to mow over it. I want to like dig it up. So we're doing pretty good. It's coming along. Just a little bit longer, and I just ran out of the first battery.
Section I did here was at the level 3. It's getting cloudy and it's supposed to rain, I think, overnight. Since I need to come back with a shovel and a bucket, maybe a trowel to dig up those plants that I've been trying to do, I'm going to call it quits. But I wanted to thank you so much. Let's go over here and take a look at the beautiful scenery up here before we close out. Like I said, this was not the ideal, I would prefer to not have to go slow as a mowing project, but it does help me to just, see the natural surroundings, get some crazy exercise, think, all of those things that happen when you go slow, right? But if you want to contribute to getting my other mower fixed, the Greenworks electric riding mower dream purchase, or if you want to leave me some comments if you'd like me to do a few more videos. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. So let's just take a nice look at the scenery. So down there is where I do the forest walk. Start at the river. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it.